Male, rated PG.
Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. No intro this week because, I don't know, I just didn't feel like doing one for this particular week. Plus, most of the movies on the show don't really deserve an intro for this particular week. It's Easter weekend, April 18th, 2014, and we're starting off with the biggest of the new releases, Heaven is for Real. This is the story of a small-town father, played by Greg Kinnear, who must find the courage and conviction to share his son Colton's extraordinary, life-changing experience with the world. Colton claims to have visited heaven during a near-death experience. Colton recounts the details of his amazing journey with childlike innocence and speaks matter-of-factly about things that happened before his birth, things he couldn't possibly know. Todd and his family are challenged to examine the meaning of this remarkable event. The church turns on him, and so does everyone who is close to him, including his wife. Now, what I think makes this movie work better than something like God's Not Dead is that it is a very compelling film, and there's a bigger sense of people that actually know what they're doing here in terms of, this is a movie that's making a literal case of God not existing or not, like God's Not Dead is. But this is a movie that really feels like they're trying to tell a legitimate story that feels very captivating. You got a cast that includes Greg Kinnear, Kelly Riley, Margot Martindale, Thomas Hayden Church, Connor Corum does a pretty good job playing the kid in this. It's not a great movie overall, and some might say it goes a little bit too far with the heavy-handed sequences, but trust me, the next movie we'll look at will make you look back at this movie and go like, well, gee, you know what? The next movie actually makes this one makes its case more easier to understand than the next movie we'll take a look at. But yeah, it's a movie where it is what it is. It's a Christian-based movie, but it's one of the ones where I would go as far as to say it's actually kind of worth it to watch it. I mean, for a one-time watch, I think it's worth it overall. The thing that actually did pretty well at the box office in general, I mean, most of its money was made here. No joke. It made $100 million worldwide. 91 million of that was here in the States. $9 million everywhere else. Yeah, what a shocker. Other countries don't think of this movie as something that they need to see, but nevertheless, I liked it. I thought it was okay for what it was. For a one-time watch, I think it's fine. But other than that, though, there's no reason to watch this again after another time overall. I mean, it's fine for what it is. But yeah, it certainly takes the cake in terms of our next movie. I've touched on this movie in a much longer video format, so I won't be too long on this one here. Let's talk about my second worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Johnny Depp in Transcendence.
Where are you going? Everywhere. Transcendence. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX April 18th.
God, even the marketing in this movie is extremely pretentious. That's just one of the many, many problems with this movie. So in this movie, Johnny Depp plays Dr. Will Castor, who's the foremost researcher in the field of artificial intelligence, working to create a sentient machine that combines the collective intelligence of everything ever known with the full range of human emotions. His highly controversial experience have made him famous, but they've also made him the prime target of anti-technology extremists who are willing to do whatever it takes to stop him. However, in their attempt to destroy Will, they inadvertently become the catalyst for him to succeed to be a participant in his own transcendence. For his wife Evelyn, played by Rebecca Hall, and best friend Max Waters, played by Paul Bettany, both fellow researchers, the question is not if they can, but if they should. Their worst fears are realized when Will's thirst for knowledge evolves into a seemingly omnipresent quest for power, to what end is unknown. The only thing that is becoming terrifyingly clear is that there may be no way to stop him. So yeah, it's basically the Lawnmower Man, except instead of being a fun look into the future overall, it's the most pretentious piece of garbage ever. But not only that, the trailers made it look like a mix between Akira, Chronicle, Inception, and also a little bit of Blade Runner, Star Trek, Star Wars, Revolution, whatever sci-fi franchise is out there is in this movie, and it made for a terrible, horrible movie. I mean, this movie is atrocious, and it's the biggest problem with it is that everything about this movie is just so pretentious and so up its own ass. Like, it's a movie that likes to sniff its own farts, pretty much. Like, I mean, this thing is so unsubtle about everything. You can literally predict everything that's going to happen. Like, one of the biggest things that really came out of nowhere is where one person in the audience at this seminar that Johnny Depp is at, it goes like, are you trying to make your own God? And then 30 seconds later, oh, it's the guy, he got shot. Guess who shot him? The guy who asked the damn question. It's just like, they didn't even try to set that up overall. Just like, no, this guy right here is going to be the one that kills him. And it's just like, it's like, it's trying to be so symbolic and so subtle and failing miserably at it because the writer clearly doesn't have any idea about subtle and symbolic elements after watching this. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. The anti-terrorist extremists are so much against technology. In order to track somebody down, they need technology. You know, it's like the extremists came from the planet the people hated technology from Star Wars Insurrection came from. We have no idea if they're supposed to be the bad guys or is Will supposed to be the bad guy. It has no idea who we're supposed to root for or despise. And it's just like, this movie is just such a waste of everyone's time. Rebecca Hall, Morgan Freeman, who's going to be in the other movie that is actually my worst movie of all time later in the year, and Paul Bettany. Like, these are people who are just so wasted in here. There's nothing in this movie that makes it worth it. Sorry about that. But, I mean, the visuals aren't even that good. This is a $100 million movie where you barely see the visuals. Like, the only real visual you can see is that, oh, Will can heal people's wounds. But even then, that is so hard to see. Like, where did the $100 million go for this movie? It tricks you into thinking that you're in for this epic sci-fi adventure thriller. Come see it on IMAX screens. You know, why? Like, it gives you, all it is that it's giving you a simplified script with no explanations for anything, no visual wonder, a great cast wasted on this material, and just an unpleasant movie-going experience. Like, this movie is a fucking joke. This whole thing is nothing but a fucking joke on the face of anybody who is expecting a smart, slick sci-fi thriller. It's a simplified piece of bullshit that fails on every single level and has nothing new or rewarding to offer. The fact that this came from Christopher Nolan's cinematographer, Wally Pfister, it's just like, this is his first movie as a director. And it so far has been his only film as a director because, yeah, he probably looked at this and went like, oh my god, this movie is fucking pretentious. Hell, I'm going to go back to cinematography now. It's like, it's a bad movie. It's a really, really bad film. Just avoid it like the plague. And also, you can do the same for our next movie, too. Hey, it's another comedy sequel nobody was asking for. It's A Haunted House 2.
Come on, Charlotte, you scared of coming down? Call 911. Tell them the dog is white. Tell them the dog is white.
Shut up! For the love of God, shut up! I swear to God. That is the crux of the humor in this movie. Marlon Wayans just screaming at the top of his lungs for no reason whatsoever. Screaming isn't comedy. I'm sorry. It's not. This is A Haunted House 2. I'm sorry for that, but I'm sorry. This movie just... it made me so furious watching this again. After losing his beloved Keisha in a car accident, Malcolm starts anew by remarrying Megan, played by Jamie Presley, a mother of two. When things begin to get back into their paranormal ways, targeting both the children and property, things complicate even more when his back-to-life Keisha moves into the neighborhood. The movie is so stupid that it has no idea what the hell it's doing. This is a terrible comedy that's not funny at all. I mean, this is a movie that is trying to go back to the good old days of like spoof films like Scary Movie or The Naked Gun, and just like it fails on those levels. I mean, this is somehow even worse than a Freeberg-Seltzer movie. If I have to say this is worse than a Freeberg-Seltzer film, then you know there's a huge problem here, and it's just not funny, man. It's the late 2000s, early 2010s spoof movie. Let's not even make a movie that's based around specific material. Here's just a bunch of pop culture references. Here's a bunch of things that are popular around this time. Are you laughing? No? Well, fuck you then. We're gonna keep doing it anyway. Just like, I mean, it's just bad. It's just a terrible, terrible movie. I mean, what more do I need to add to it that hasn't already been said already? A Haunted House 2 is fucking terrible. And if you think this would be the last thing that these guys would do, no. No, they saved their best for last. They're going to go ahead and make fun of 50 Shades of Grey, but not really make fun of it because we can't offend the people who like that with 50 Shades of Black in a couple of years' time. But, yeah, that's really all I got to say about this movie in general here. So, that's A Haunted House 2. So let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here, the latest from Disney Nature, and that is Bears!
Protect our national parks. Rated G.
Or you could just have Christopher Walken just come up on screen and going like, "This is not over! Bears!" Like he did in the Country Bears. That's why I did that at the end of that last bit there. But this is Bears, the latest Disney nature documentary, and it showcases a year in the life of a bear family as two impressionable young cubs are taught life's most important lessons. Set against a majestic Alaskan backdrop teeming with life, their journey begins as winter comes to an end and the bears emerge from hibernation to face the bitter cold. The world outside is exciting but risky as the Cubs' playful descent down the mountain carries with it a looming threat of avalanches. As the season changes from spring to summer, the brown bears must work hard to find food, ultimately feasting on a plentiful salmon run while staying safe from rival male bears and predators, good lord, including an ever-present wolf. Bears captures the fast-moving action and suspense of life in one of the planet's last great wildernesses, Alaska. Well, in that case, it's definitely a lot better than the Alaska movie from 1996. At least you don't have Charlton Heston is using a gruff accent and basically going, "I want that bear," or or two kids who clearly don't like their father, who just is letting him die out there in the middle of these mountains and all that. I mean, I'm just going back into Alaska in general here. As far as this film goes, it is what it is, man. It's just a movie where you take a look at it and you see all these cute little bears on this little adventure overall. The cinematography is pretty good. You have narration by John C. Reilly in this, and that's pretty much about it at all. Nothing about these movies are really grand or epic in any way, shape, or form, but they are okay. They're, at the best, okay. These are the type of movies that you put on Disney Plus to, kind of let the kids watch it and just get bored. Not even get bored with it. Just take them, just show it to them and just kind of like it's not going to hurt them overall. And yeah, it's that type of a movie in general. Like, this is the type of film you go to Disney Plus, you put this on their TV for about 90 minutes, and they're captivated by it, and then the movie's over, and then they go back to doing what they were doing before. That type of a film in general. That's probably a bad way to sell the film, but it is what it is, man. There's nothing bad about it overall. It's kind of cute to look at, but other than that, though, there's nothing really about it that makes it stand out or anything, so I like it, but not one I would want to watch over and over and over again. So there you go. That's Bears for you. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. We'll wrap April up on the next episode with Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann, and Kate Upton starring in the romantic comedy The Other Woman. We'll also take a look at one of Paul Walker's last movies before he died, Brick Mansions. We'll also take a look at The Quiet Ones, and that's about it. Only those three films for this next episode that we're going to take a look at, and that'll be tomorrow on the show, so stay tuned for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. Or the other way around. The previous episode there, playlist down below. So, with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.